I always say, if you like candy, you want to work in the candy store. And right now, I feel like in the candy store. And these cigarettes are done out of...
Chalk?
Chocolate.
No.
Chalk. Okay.
I've even got the pretend lipstick prints.
Yes.
For the birthday party. I grew up in San Francisco, and right when I was young, AIDS hit my city, and so we lost a lot of people. I'm trying to recreate the innocence with my experience as a young person, and I started making this papier-mâché toy that is evocative for me and my youth. I really like the idea of this really long, ongoing tale.
What you're doing in the work is trying to evoke your awakening as an artist, and yet bringing in the non-childhood elements that began to play an influence on your life, and there has the potential of doing something interesting there. Keep it up and go for it. Many thanks.
Thank you.
Well, I just finished this part of the piece, and basically what I did was take an entire roll of duct tape and organize it into this symmetrical kind of grid-like design.
In what way does this work, call your childhood memories?
It doesn't. I don't think there's anything about my childhood that would reference appropriately the topic of this challenge.
You consider yourself an artist today?
I don't know yet. I don't consider myself not an artist, but I don't think I'm fully there yet.
I definitely have personality conflicts with Miles. He's very talented, but overall I see him trying to get away with as much as possible. He's made that piece before. I see that as cheating, and I don't have a lot of respect for cheaters.
The fact that it's just black and white, is there a reason for that?
The idea behind it and the work itself is so conceptual that I did want to keep it really simple, just because I didn't want anyone to be bogged down by a flashy kind of design.
Okay.
Thanks, Simone.
Thank you, Miles.
Have a good one.
Well, I finally just figured out the process I'm doing like an hour ago, so now I'm like on fast track. But
okay, what did you figure out?
When I was a child, one thing I really liked was when I would fold a piece of paper in half after painting it, and then open it, and there'd be like an abstract image, because there's this element of surprise.
On their own, I don't think, besides just looking messy, that they are particularly appealing.
Yeah.
And I saw at the other table you were preparing some stuff with some pipe cleaners and fluffy material and all of that. Are you going to use any of that in your work?
I don't like it anymore.
You've changed your mind?
Yeah.
So you're going down that route?
Like, did you think the pipe cleaners were more interesting or something?
Well, I thought there was something intriguing about it. But, you have to do what you feel inside you is the right thing.
I'm scared that I'm not going to do a good job on this challenge.
Thank you so much, Jacqueline.
Bye.
Bye.
I want to say something that has significance, but it's a hard thing for me to be really open.
Otis, you have the whole night to get your work completed and 1 hour tomorrow. I must tell you that I'm quite concerned with what I've seen so far. I am slightly unimpressed, to put it mildly, so you better get your act together, is all I can tell you.
At this point, morale just crashes. Even the people who Simone gave a good crit to don't seem very optimistic.
This all the more that I want you to be fully aware that nobody is going to get immunity from now on to the end of the competition. So you really got to get it right. And I'll see you tomorrow at the exhibition.
Thanks, Simone.
Now that there isn't any immunity, I feel like it's going to make people push it a little bit harder.
It's crazy how, when somebody reveals something to you about your own work, things just completely shift. I take a step back, look at my piece, and I agree with them. I'm looking at it, and it's kind of cliche. I have no idea what I'm going to do. I don't even want to bring this close to the gallery wall.
Once Simone leaves, a lot of us are questioning some of the ideas we're having. One piece of artwork that I haven't quite figured out is Peregrine's. Peregrine had a very weird childhood growing up in a very drug, kind of hippie culture, and her piece is definitely referential to her as a kid, and I guess that's what this is supposed to be all about.
Wow, that actually looks exactly like the toy.
Yeah.
Wow.
Thanks. I saw a lot of them in my life. Children thrive under harsh conditions, and it was a blessing that my parents were willing to let me be cared for in the company of all different kinds of people as a kid.
Survey question. What are some of the things people used to ask you to draw for them?
Ponies.
Ponies.
Different cars.
Cars, yeah, I wrote that. I took to heart Simone's concerns. I feel like he was definitely dead on, you know, like the piece I was working on, it just wasn't good. And even though I wanted to do a tribute to my mom, I want to flat out win this challenge even more. So I've decided to do something different.
The Nike.
Yeah, I said the Nike swoosh. Yeah, shoot.
Bugles.
Yeah, you're good at remembering that. Oh my God.
Rainbows. I'm doing a set of drawings of things that people would have me draw when I was in school.
Spider jets.
People wanted me to draw math equations.
Quadratic formula, go. Do you remember it?
A squared plus B squared. I use that thing all the time.
Cool. I'm making these abstract paintings, but Simone just thinks the work I'm doing right now is a little unfocused, and he suggests doing something maybe sculptural with the pom-poms and pipe cleaners, but even though I really want to listen to him, I can't figure out what to do with them. I definitely don't want to go home, so I'm working really hard to try to come up with some kind of solution to this.
I do agree with Simone, and I do get a little bit worried. I decide that I need to add another level to my piece and make it more complex, but stay in the same direction. There's so many emotions going into this piece to make it a strong one. Hopefully that will come across to the judges.
You know, it's kind of too literal, which has been my problem the whole time, so.
I think that's my problem too.
A lot of us underestimated how difficult this challenge is going to be. We're to a point in the competition when every piece counts, so the stakes are just that much higher.
We have a half hour, so we gotta be out.
Oh, shoot.
There's some peanuts and pretzels.
I don't think Simone was really impressed by what I'm doing, so I want to do something fun and playful with color. I found this huge bag of rubber bands that were red, yellow, and blue, so I make rubber band balls to add some color to my piece.
I didn't really realize it until very recently, but Miles is kind of like this big douchebag. He is not doing the challenge. His way of solving that was by making rubber band balls.
So serendipitous that these are primary colors, and I'm using black and white.
Oh, God.
10 minutes left.
What am I doing?
Time's up at the museum, and I got a lot to get done for the mob. It's getting down to the wire, you know? There's not too many of us left. No more immunity. I definitely don't want to go home.
This challenge is a lot more complicated than any of us thought. And it's been emotionally a hard day.
It was the two of us.
Especially with Ryan tapping into the younger struggles that he had as a kid.
To have the entire conception of it, it's more important than the actual product. Like, my piece isn't something that I would normally be proud of, but, like, at the same time, I have a way of explaining it, which I think will work.
Ryan, I love you, but you look like you're drunk, stoned.
I look like I'm dead.
Yeah.
What I need most at this point is to sleep on it. With art, you make it, and then you go to sleep, and then the next day you wake up, and it could turn into a very nice wine, or it could turn into vinegar.
Where am I gonna hang this? Where am I gonna hang it? This is going to be one of the most personal gallery shows. Facing the critics is going to be pretty tough because it's not only about your artwork, it's about you.
Everyone is nowhere near done. Jackie's running around. Abdi's stressed out. Miles is confident as ever, which is no surprise since he's made that piece several times.
This morning, I'm mostly just meditating on my work, and I just sort of try and remain in a positive, non-stressed mindset. I've decided to add construction paper, which I tore apart. I'll dump them out onto the floor in front of the wall and carefully dishevel it like I do to my own hair.
This morning, I think I came up with a pretty good way to pull the piece together. I'm thinking about how, as a kid, I really loved to climb trees. It was definitely a place for me to escape and deal with my feelings of isolation. I decided to hang these pipe cleaners and pom-poms from two sides of the canvas, insinuating that they're hanging from the trees. And it's this really playful element that will tie the piece together.
Jackie, her piece is really, really cold. Makes me want to put on a coat, some galoshes. some mittens.
Guys, we have 10 minutes. Are you gonna lay them out in a grid?
Yeah. I really want to win this challenge. I feel really strongly about this piece. I feel like I definitely get a lot of my drive from my mom. She works hard every single day. If I don't do my best, I will have really let her down.
I figured out how to end it, just like that. What do you think?
I like that. Just don't talk about it too literally.
Otis, your time is up. So can I please ask you to take your works and come with me this way?
Simone comes in and he's his usual jovial self.
Oh, cool. Yay! Wanted you to come here and eat your snacks so you have strength and energy to continue amazing work.
A porn magazine? Simone. Oh, cool. Juice box.
Juice box? Wow.
You feel this immediate rush of nostalgia, snacks and juice boxes, which is really cute.
Thanks, Simone. Thank you, Simone.
Thank you, Simone.
Hello, everyone.
Hi.
Please welcome back your judges. Critic Jerry Saltz.
Hi.
Gallery owner Bill Powers.
Hey, guys.
Jeannie is away this week curating a show in Europe. And your guest judge for this challenge, celebrated New York painter Will Cotton.
Oh my God, Will Cotton, totally amazing painter, does all these great things with candy and femininity. It's so cool.
Your challenge was to create a piece inspired by your memories of how you became an artist, using only the materials provided at the Children's Museum. Let's see how you did.
I'm feeling he's telling a life story through symbols. A baseball hat, Superman.
Sure, the sports.
Discovery of Eastern religion.
I find it interesting that people, when they can't draw, they're like, oh, I can't even draw a straight line. So it's really a piece about the role of the artist, and we'll see how the judges think.
The origin of Mark Velasquez.
So there's like a handmade artist book that he's done.
I made my children's book in kind of a comic book style, illustrating the finer points of the things that inspired me as a kid and made me an artist today.
This is a side of Mark that we have not seen before. Let's check out the next piece.
All right. Peregrine. It's called Rainbow.
That's ballsy.
This was a bit of an homage to people that I've known and people that I'm related to who have died of AIDS. I've really given a lot of myself.
This is the unicorn I wanted to make when I was a kid.
You wanted to make a unicorn?
Absolutely.
I thought it was a girl thing.
Not just a girl thing.
No.
My mom taught me to draw horses.
I drew trolls.
No, Dad, there is no worse one. All of these things are great art.
Yeah, do you think this is what they give the children to use as a...
Oh, like a palette?
I used styrofoam plates to sandwich little vignettes of specific memories that I've had. It actually looks like a solid piece of art.
I was making this and like remembering stuff, and I like started crying.
I think he's really trying to get back into the mind of being a child.
The work is about a cathartic event, about sort of excavating into my past and bringing emotions out to the surface.
So you got a little bit of like a Rorschach vibe going there, almost like a family tree.
The fact that I made this very cold image of a tree, I think that actually says a lot more about me than people think. Hopefully the judges will like it.
So,
Tetris, huh?
yeah, it's totally...
Cute.
That's revisiting child materials as an adult. When I relate this to my childhood, I think of Space Invaders.
My piece chose this really rough time in my life where I was depressed and anxious. I use those different feelings to get to the place that I want to be as an artist.